If you have ADHD, you're living this total paradox, right? One day, it feels like an absolute curse, just holding you back from everything. But the next, it feels like you've been handed the key to unlock your true potential. So today, we're going to dive into exactly why that is, and more importantly, how to make sure you're always using it as a key. And look, the stakes they're incredibly high. On one side of the coin, you see the potential for addiction, unemployment, just feeling totally marginalized. But on the other side, you've got Michael Phelps, Bill Gates, Simone Biles, literal titans in their fields who actually credit ADHD for their success. I mean, we're not just talking about different outcomes here, we're talking about entirely different realities.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Why is it always so black and white? Why is it either you're laser focused or you can't focus at all? A terrible, no good day or an absolutely amazing one? Well, to really get it, we've got to look under the hood at the neurology of it all.
Okay, so let's get into it. It all starts with really understanding your brain's unique operating system. And the first thing you have to get is that it's not broken, it's just different. And the main feature of this OS? It runs on a pure all-or-nothing principle.
And the technical term for this is dopamine dysregulation, but honestly, all you need to know is that it's the biological engine behind that all-or-nothing feeling. See, for a neurotypical brain, dopamine, the chemical for mood, motivation, focus, it's kind of like a dimmer switch. You can turn it up or down. But for the ADHD brain, nope, it's a light switch. It is either on, full blast, or it's completely off. There is no in-between, and that is what creates those wild, intense swings you feel day to day.
Now, because of this on or off switch, something really powerful starts to happen. Your days begin to stack up or compound, creating this incredible momentum in one of two very different directions. And trust me, this compounding effect, this is where the game is won or lost.
So first, let's talk about the one we all know too well, the downward spiral. This is when one bad day, maybe one missed deadline, one moment of feeling totally overwhelmed, just bleeds into the next, and then the next. And over time, all that compounding negativity can leave you feeling just completely lost, isolated, like you have zero control. It is such a heavy, difficult place to be.
But here's the incredible flip side of that same coin, the upward spiral. Because when you start stringing together good days, something truly amazing happens. That same ADHD brain, its ability to hyperfocus and just absorb information, it kicks into absolute overdrive. It's like you level up, you grow, you achieve, at a speed that can honestly leave neurotypical people in the dust.
And this is the most important part of this whole thing, so listen up. You are not destined for one spiral or the other. You actually have the power to choose. And that choice, that ability to intentionally kickstart the upward spiral, it really boils down to a simple three-step key.
So here it is. This is the roadmap. Step 1, win the morning. Step 2, chase the easy. And yeah, we'll get into what that really means, I promise. And step 3, find your mission. These 3 steps, they all build on each other, creating this really powerful system to unlock your potential.
All right, let's break it down. Step 1, win the morning. It all starts in those first few moments after you wake up. And look, the goal here is not perfection. It's just about intentionally creating a positive feedback loop from the second your feet hit the floor. I mean, just think about it for a second. Your very first choice of the day sets the entire tone. You wake up, you grab your phone, bam, you get a quick, cheap hit of dopamine. But it's super short-lived, and it just trains your brain to crave more of that instant gratification all day long. Now contrast that with doing something simple, like making your bed. It sounds silly, but you start the day with a small, visible accomplishment. That one tiny win creates momentum for the next good choice, and the one after that.
And again, this is not about some flawless 2-hour hyper-productive morning routine. No way. It's just about building an on-ramp for your brain. By focusing only on that very first, super manageable step, you sidestep that feeling of overwhelm that can totally paralyze the ADHD brain. And instead, you start the day with a win.
Okay, on to step 2. And this one might sound a little weird at first. We're always told to just have more discipline, right? More willpower. But for the ADHD brain, that is like trying to run a diesel engine on gasoline. It just doesn't work. Your brain isn't discipline-driven, it is fundamentally interest-driven.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Every single time you tell yourself you should do something, I should go to the gym, I should work on that boring report, it becomes a chore. Every should is like a little vampire just sucking away at your already low dopamine reserves, which of course makes the task even harder to start. So the whole game is to reframe your activities. You've got the dopamine drains over here on the left, forcing yourself through shoulds, masking your true self to fit in, all that people-pleasing stuff. And then on the right, you have the dopamine builders, doing what you genuinely want to do, following what you're actually interested in, living authentically. And look, this isn't just some feel-good self-help advice. This is a legitimate neurological strategy. And all of this leads us right into the final, and honestly, the most powerful step of all. See, winning the morning and chasing the easy, those are the tactics. But finding your mission, that's the grand strategy. It's the North Star that gives all your daily actions a real direction and provides a source of motivation that's actually sustainable and, well, effortless.
And check this out because it's the whole point. We lose the game once our days become effortful. We win when they become effortless. When you're constantly fighting yourself, it's just a brutal uphill battle. But when you have a mission you genuinely love, making the right choices just happens. You don't have to force yourself to win the morning when you're actually excited to wake up and work on something that matters to you.
So, you might be thinking, okay, great, but how do I find this mission? Well, it starts with just simple exploration. Start following what you're genuinely curious about, with zero judgment. Maybe look into things like personality types to get some clues about your natural interests. And then you start to craft your why. And you can do that by asking these 3 huge questions. What's my unique contribution to the world? Who are the people I want to impact? And really, deep down, why does any of this matter to me?
Now, when you put all of these pieces together, when you're winning the morning, chasing what actually interests you, and you align all of that with a mission, something incredible happens. The very thing that you've probably spent your whole life thinking of as a deficiency gets totally reframed, and you start to see it as your greatest strength, your unfair advantage.
That's right. Your dopamine deficiency is your unfair advantage. That dopamine dysregulation that causes so much chaos, it's the very same thing that's the source of your potential. That all-or-nothing switch can absolutely trap you in a downward spiral, but it can also launch you into a state of incredible focus that most people can only dream of. Because once you aim that brain of yours at a mission you truly love, something that genuinely fascinates you, that all-or-nothing switch just flips on. And that same mechanism that makes it physically painful to focus on boring spreadsheets, it becomes the engine for an intense, world-class hyperfocus. That becomes your single greatest asset.
And so that leaves us with one last, really powerful thought to chew on. We hear it all the time, right? Live authentically, be true to yourself. But for the ADHD brain, what if that isn't just some fluffy, feel-good advice? What if, given everything we've just talked about, living a life that is true to your interests, a life aligned with your mission, what if that isn't just an option, but an absolute neurological necessity for you to thrive?